there guys, welcome back for a new walkthrough to an old school classic game for the original PlayStation, The Legend of Dragoon. Now I was actually surprised while looking at my messages and stuff on YouTube at the feedback that I got off of this game. One guy in particular actually said that he would give me money to make a walkthrough on this game, and I guess he just likes how I explain stuff or something. I don't know, but I appreciate all your support, and I went ahead and started this game right away. Now, before we start on this, let me just give you a little background info on this game. It was made by Sony Computer Entertainment in 2000, and it was released originally for PlayStation 1. Now, when this game came out, I was really young, and I loved it. I played it a lot, and it's still one of my all-time favorite games. It's unique. It's the same, but in a way it's very much different from all the other RPGs in its class, such as Final Fantasy. And yeah, I've probably beaten this game 4 or 5 different times when I was younger, and then I beat it actually again probably about 2 years ago. But I didn't have a recording device, so I couldn't record it. So now that I do, I just finished my previous game walkthrough, and that was Lost Odyssey. And I was really impressed on you guys for watching it and supporting me. And then at the end of the walkthrough, I pretty much stated that I was thinking about doing several different games. And I listed such as Star Ocean, Tales of Vesperia, The Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, 9, and then I asked you guys which one do you think I should do next. And a lot of people said Final Fantasy VII and 8 and 9, but then there was a very little bit of people that wanted me to do The Legend of Dragoon. Well, I took a little break for about a week or two because I had just finished a very long RPG, Lost Odyssey, for the Xbox 360, and I just needed some time away from it because it took up a lot of time. And now I just recently got on my YouTube, and I had got a message saying I really need a Legend of Dragoon walkthrough, and I would very much like for you to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this right away. If you haven't heard about it, you definitely need to play it. It's a very good game, and it was just re-released for PlayStation 3 in the PlayStation Store. So if you guys haven't got that, go ahead and pick it up. It's only $5.99 or $4.99. I can't remember, but it's pretty much $5. So if you've never played it, or you want to replay it and you don't have the original copy for PlayStation, you can buy it on the PlayStation Store. So before we start, let me just tell you I'm recording with an HD PVR2, and I got the screen size set to full screen, which is why you see a little black line to the left, and I tried as much as I can to fix it, but there is no fixing it. I can make it to where there's a black line on the left and right side, but I'd much rather be able to see a full screen of actual picture instead of a letterbox, which is what they call it. So without any more delay, let's go ahead and start. I'm playing on the PlayStation 3 console, so hopefully this is going to be a good experience. If you guys are playing on PlayStation 3, I'll give you a quick tip before you start how to make the graphics better. Simply press the middle button on the PlayStation 3 controller, go down to Other Settings, and then choose Smoothing, and choose it to turn on. What smoothing does is it smooths everything out, because we are playing a PlayStation original game. There's going to be a lot of blurriness in the game, and the graphics are going to be horrible, especially if you're used to playing PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. So the graphics aren't going to be as good, but you can make them somewhat better by choosing to turn on the smoothing option by pressing the middle button on your PlayStation 3 controller. So now that that's all out of the way, let's go ahead and start the game. And I'm going to shut up for all the cutscenes. If you have watched any of my previous game walkthroughs, you'll know that I'm always silent during the opening scenes.
Great Commander, this way.
So, this is her. Indeed. Put her in custody. Is this really necessary?
It is His Majesty, Emperor Dole's command to take that girl into custody.
Who is she?
That is not your concern.
Okay, so after the opening cutscenes, you will see a brief appearance of a certain character in this game. And that is supposed to be a dragon. I know the graphics are awful, but you're gonna have to bear with me. If you can get past the shitty graphics, then you will find out that this is an extremely awesome and legendary game. So this is Chapter 1, Serdian War. And now you meet the main character of this game, whose name is Dart, and he's just chilling in the forest. Don't point that spear in my face, fool. And the green tusked dragon Fabran has swooped down on us. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do except run away from this guy, because if we did have to fight him now, we would probably get destroyed. Like the mysterious lady has just saved Dart from the dragon attack. and Dart figures out that his hometown is being attacked by Imperial soldiers. Alright, so now you can finally get control of Dart for the first time. Now, before we begin, I want to tell you the basic controls. You use the directional pad to run, and if you hold circle while running in a certain direction, you will run quick instead of walk. The D-pad alone just allows you to walk, and if you press circle while using the D-pad, you will run. So, the next thing we're going to take notice of is the blue arrow over Dart's head. Now, what this does is it shows you how close you are to encountering a random enemy. It changes colors from blue to yellow to red. And whenever it's red, that means that you are about to be ambushed by enemies. So at least you can somewhat tell when you are about to get thrown into a battle just by the blue arrow over his head. Again, it changes from blue to yellow to red, and red meaning that you are about to be ambushed by monsters. So with that taken care of, run up to the fence and we'll talk about the action command. This appears whenever an exclamation mark appears over Dart's head. When this happens, simply press the X button to perform the specific action. Here we see some Imperial Sandora soldiers bullying on the villagers. Alright, so upon attacking the Imperial soldiers inside the village, this is going to be our first boss battle. Now, the Legend of Dragoon does operate on a turn-based battle system, and let's quickly go over the battle commands. The attack option, which is the sword, attacks enemies. The shield, which is the guard option, defends, and you take less damage and also recovering a little bit of HP every time you guard. The treasure chest is your items. You can go ahead and choose that, and you can use either a healing potion to heal your health or a burnout, which is an offensive flame type item. Finally, you have the boots all the way to the right, and that is the escape button. Now, unfortunately, since this is a fixed fight, you cannot escape, and when you do attack, there is a unique battle system in this game called additions. Now, what an addition is it's kind of like a combo, and you can use it by pressing the X button at the correct time in order to extend your attacks and make them do more damage. So I'm going to quickly show you. You need to press X right as the two boxes overlap each other. So I'll quickly demonstrate. Go ahead and choose the Knight of Sandora. And as you can see, by pressing the X button at the correct time, it extended Dart's attack and it did more damage. So the combos in this game are now going to be referred to as additions because that is what they're called. Lastly, I want to talk about your HP and MP. And In the bottom right hand corner you see your battle characters, which we only have Dart right now, but underneath his name you can see your HP, which stands for health points, and MP, which stands for magic points. So right now we have no magic, so of course it's going to be at 0, but our HP is at 27 out of 30. Now you need to keep a close eye on your HP, because if it reaches 0, it's game over. So you'll know whenever your HP is running low, because see how the numbers are in white? Well, they will turn from white to yellow and then to red, and red means critical status, meaning you are about to die. And the same can be said for the enemy's HP. Now as you can see, whenever you choose attack and you are targeting a certain enemy, there will be a blue arrow over his or her head, and that blue arrow is represented by his health. So if he's at full health or close to full health, the arrow will be blue. Once you have his HP down to half, it will turn to yellow, and then when it's really low and he's about to die, that arrow will turn to red. So it goes from blue to yellow to red, and you can keep an eye on that arrow to know how weak an enemy is and when he is about to be dead or low on health. So again, in order to pull off additions, because it is a bit tricky, especially if you haven't played this game, you need to press the X button right whenever those two boxes are about to overlap each other. So again, I'll quickly demonstrate. And there it is, a successful addition. You'll know that you have successfully pulled off the addition whenever he says double slash or whatever other addition that you have equipped. So now we are at the rewards menu. We'll quickly glance over this. At the top you have gold. That is your money in this game. Experience 4 and items. And as you can see, we've got 2 healing potions. Now the G at the very bottom, you see 20G, that is your total money. So that 6G at the top will be added to the 20G at the bottom. And you gain gold, experience, and sometimes items off at every fight. So off to the right you see Dart, and below you see LV. Now LV stands for level, and of course you start off at level 1, and the object of this game is to grow stronger by leveling up. Below that you see the D level. Now this stands for Dragoon level, which we will talk about later in the game. Finally, beneath his name you see EXP, 0 out of 20. What that stands for is how much experience you need in order to level up and go from level 1 to level 2. So as you can see, you need 20 experience total to level up to level 2, and we gain 4 from this battle. So if you press X, that 4 experience will be added, and the gold will be added to your main gold, and that covers the battle rewards menu. And it looks like the villager has passed away right after saying that we have to save Shayna. So before you leave this area, you can examine a treasure chest that is in the back, and these always hold good items and equipment. So you go up and press X to open them up, and this one contains a burnout, which is a fire-based attacking item. Next we're going to talk about the save point. You see these scattered throughout the game. What they are they look like this. They have these things called fireflies around them, and this allows you to save your game, because you won't be able to save unless you are standing on top of one of these things. And in order to save, you simply press the triangle button to pull up your menu, and you go down to the save option, and this can only be accessed while standing on save points. So now I'm going to go ahead and save my game. And it's good to save in multiple spots in case you get into a situation and you want to go back, but you can't because you keep saving over your previous game. That's why it's good to save in different spots, so that in case you get in one of those situations, you can simply load up another save from a different point in time in the game. Now, before we conclude this episode, I want to quickly glance over the main menu. First, you have status, which shows your equipment that you have equipped, your level, HP, MP, and your stats, your attack, defense, magic attack, magic defense, speed, attack hit, magic hit, attack evasion, magic evasion. Also, your magic attack list and how much MP it costs. Next, we have items. This is where you can use your items, discard your items, get a list of your items, and get a list of your goods that you are carrying. Next, you have armed. Now, armed is where you equip or unequip certain equipment onto each character. So if you get a new sword or you get some new armor and you want to equip it, this is where you go. You go to the armed section of the main menu. Below that, we have additions. Now, this is the combos that we have been pulling off throughout the game. Now, as you can see, all we have for now is double slash. Now, we'll come back here and I'll explain more in depth a little bit later. But for now, I'm just covering the main menu. Beneath that, you have the replace. This is whenever you get more characters, and well, more than 3 characters, because you can only have 3 characters in battle at once in this game. You can change your characters out for different battle parties. So you can choose replace to switch your characters. Configuration, you can choose this to turn off any certain settings in the game that you don't want, such as the vibration, the stereo sound, and morph, and note. So the note, by the way, is the text that pops up when characters are speaking. So if you don't like how it pops up so slow, you can change it at the config menu. And finally, we have the save option, but I've already explained that. Now at the very bottom, you can see that your total amount of gold, and to the right of that you see your total playtime, which right now we have about 17 minutes. And then down at below that you see the Dragoon spirit, but we don't know what that is, so I'll explain that later. And finally, at the bottom right, you see Stardust, 0. Now what Stardust is they are rare items that you can find throughout the game, and if you collect enough of them, you can turn them in to a certain person for some excellent rewards. But you have to be very careful, because Stardust are scattered all throughout the game, and they're usually in hard to find places. So right now we have 0, and I will be explaining where each Stardust is as we continue with the walkthrough. So that covers everything right now that we can do, and later on I will go more in detail about each item within the menu. So now that that's taken care of, that's going to conclude the first episode of The Legend of Dragoon, and I'll see you guys back where we continue in this burnt down town and get some answers for what has happened here.